Hello, Kyle here. I am here to talk about the the first 3 episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Last week was a very hectic week with things coming out, and I didn't get the chance to talk about episode 1 and episode 2, so I've decided to combine all 3 episodes into one video. So, a slight recap of episode 1 and 2. Obi-Wan Kenobi is reeling from the events of Revenge of the Sith and what occurred between him and Anakin Skywalker, and now he's like a reclusive Jedi living amongst the people of Tatooine and hiding. And it takes place 10 years after we last saw Obi-Wan in episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and he's basically no longer the Jedi we remember him to be. And what's also interesting is that we get to see a little bit of his relationship with Owen Lars, and how Owen Lars, Luke's uncle, is essentially not trusting of Obi-Wan. And it harkens back to what we know from the very first Star Wars, where Owen also thought Ben Kenobi was a bit of a crazy man. He kind of said that to protect Luke from all the stuff going on in the outside world and Darth Vader, but I think that it was interesting that we get to see a little bit of the conflict between him and Obi-Wan. What else is really good about the first 2 episodes? I really like the character of Reva. Reva is really, really cool. I think that Moses Ingram is doing a terrific job. I really like how unhinged she is. The point of the Inquisitors is they are former Jedi turned into Jedi hunters. And I like how we can see a little bit of a difference between each Inquisitor. They don't all feel the same. And I like how, specifically Reva, she has her own beef with Obi-Wan, and she's using that to kind of, I think, empower herself to go after not just Obi-Wan but other Jedi. But she doesn't, I think, like the way that the Inquisitors are operating, under the fact that they have to go after Jedi that aren't like the biggest fish to catch. And Obi-Wan is the biggest fish. I think what's interesting too about Obi-Wan Kenobi, it's something that I didn't know, was that Princess Leia is in the show. And it's something that they kind of kept away from the marketing. They haven't shown Princess Leia in any marketing material until just recently, the other day, when they finally revealed her on a poster. But aside from what just recently occurred, there has been no involvement or reference to Princess Leia in any of the marketing before the Obi-Wan Kenobi show released. And it's pretty crazy to me, because Leia, especially after watching episode 3, she plays a big part in this series. One could even argue that it could also be more of Leia's show than Obi-Wan's, where like it's really about young Leia seeing the galaxy. So I think it's really cool that they kept that from us, because that's a surprise that when I first saw it, I was like, oh my goodness, it's Princess Leia. I think that all the actors are doing a great job in their roles. Some of the actors that, for instance, Sung Kang, who plays the fifth brother, it wasn't until episode 3 that I think I really started to get a sense of where he's going, because I know the fifth brother from Star Wars Rebels. And in Star Wars Rebels, from what I remember from Star Wars Rebels, he's this imposing, this like brute force. And I didn't quite get that in the first episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi. But episode 3, I think, gave us a little bit more of the fifth brother that I appreciated. And I think I'm liking the fifth brother even more now. The character of Obi-Wan, played by Ewan McGregor, is, as I said before, very different than we've seen him before. But I think Ewan is doing a fantastic job in the role. I think that Ewan is really, really tapping into some interesting things that the Jedi struggle with. In a way, it reminds me of Luke from The Last Jedi, but instead of Luke from The Last Jedi, we kind of see at the end of his life, we are really seeing more of Obi-Wan transitioning into the Jedi that we see him in A New Hope. So I think that is really cool. I think Ewan is still, even though, he's a bit of a recluse and he doesn't kind of want to help people as much, you still see the flashes of his character. It's very similar to Maverick in Top Gun Maverick, where even though he's a changed man now, he's still the same man, and you see flashes of that man still there. And I'm assuming that by the end of this series, we'll get more of the Obi-Wan we are familiar with. So, the first two episodes, even the second episode, you had Kumail Nanjiani's character. I don't quite know his name, but whoever the Jedi character that he like the quote-unquote Jedi character, he was pretending to be a Jedi. Whoever he was playing, I somewhat enjoyed that character. Somewhat, I was a little iffy on him because he kind of has a weird, he's like a con man, and then all of a sudden he wants to help out Obi-Wan at the end. I feel like we could have gotten a little bit more of his character in that episode. It felt like he went from one opposite end of the spectrum to the other opposite end of the spectrum. From con man to really good guy. And this is something I feel like, especially when you just have a 6-episode season, I feel like we could have had more episodes to flesh out Kumail's character. But I think that episode 2 is also pretty good with the Inquisitors going after Obi-Wan, and then it ends when Obi-Wan discovers, Anakin's identity, that Anakin is still alive, and that basically he is still after Obi-Wan. Now, we get to episode 3, which I just watched, and I really like this episode. I think that the relationship between Leia and Obi-Wan is getting stronger with each episode now, and I think it was at its strongest in this episode, and I really love the two of them, working off of each other. I don't know the actress that plays Leia's full name. I think her first name is Vivian, so I really like Vivian's performance. I think that she's doing an incredible job as Leia, and I really like that you see, once again, the roots of who she will become. I also love her little green outfit. It's very Hoth-like. Not Hoth-like. It's very Endor-like. So I really like the wardrobe. Though I have to say, when Obi-Wan's wearing this disguise, you would think that you would wear a disguise that doesn't make you look like a Jedi. And his outfit screams Jedi. So I think that was kind of funny. I think that, let me think. So then we get to, apparently I think one of the guys that picks them up in the episode, one of the aliens, his name was Frank. I think he was played by Zach Braff. Or that could have been a stormtrooper. I don't remember. But whoever played the Frank character, I kind of love that character. He was hilarious. He didn't really do much, but when he spoke, I just liked his voice, and it sounded like one of those voices that you don't expect to hear from an intimidating alien character, but he had one. Then you had basically the thing that we all were looking forward to in this episode, which was Darth Vader. And I was afraid that he wouldn't be in it, because it just felt like sometimes with these shows, they keep on teasing you, and especially with The Mandalorian Season 2, it felt like they were teasing us for weeks and weeks of Moff Gideon, because we barely got Moff Gideon in Season 2 of The Mandalorian. I think we got him for 3 episodes, and the 3 episodes he was in, 2 of them he was in it for a minor 2 minutes. Where here, we are mostly getting, it looks like we're getting Darth Vader for at least half of the season, or more than half of the season. And I was very curious to see how they would adapt Darth Vader, because Darth Vader's one of my favorite characters, and I really do love Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker, so I was really excited to see Hayden Christensen really portray Darth Vader, and I didn't know how it would be done, because when you cast an actor like Hayden Christensen, you're not casting, a stuntman to play Darth Vader and just wear the suit. You're casting an actor to be in an outfit, because it's like, what are they gonna do with Hayden if he's in the suit the whole time, and if he sounds like James Earl Jones? And I'm so happy that they used James Earl Jones. They kept it a big secret, and I think it paid off, because my heart felt warm hearing James Earl Jones again as Darth Vader. But I mean, they show him. Hayden Christensen, I guess, is in that, stasis of the burned body being attached to all those pieces. I could only imagine how, long the makeup process took for that. But you have that, and he's apparently in the suit the whole time. So those movements are Hayden's. I think that Obi-Wan, interacting with Darth Vader is a little strange, because it's like, you want to see the Hayden and Ewan chemistry. It's kind of hard to see that, and especially when, I don't know about you, but when I was watching it, for some reason, I need to look at pictures of Hayden compared to other people, but I don't think Hayden was as big. Like, they really, because David Prowse was a large man, so when he was in the Darth Vader suit, that was David Prowse. But Hayden, I don't know what they did to make him look so big, because he really did look huge. I do love how they featured Vader's castle in this. I think my big criticism, though, for this third episode is that I feel I'm torn on this fight between him and Obi-Wan, because I was hoping that they would save their confrontation to the end of this season, because it's so important to see them reunite. And sometimes I feel like this show should have been more, it should not have had Vader, and should have been focused on more of Reva. But we have Vader, and I don't know, because, man, when Vader enters, it's amazing. Vader comes in and is killing all these people in the town, and then he's causing fires everywhere, and then he senses Obi-Wan in the house, in the shack where he is, and that was sends chills up your spine, because it's like, this is almost like a horror film. And then when he goes after Obi-Wan, it's like, okay, he's playing with Obi-Wan, but the criticism I had was the way that they chose to show Vader chasing after Obi-Wan. It didn't feel to me like it was, like there was a sense of urgency there. When Vader's after, Cal Kestis in Jedi Fallen Order, you feel like Vader is coming after you. He's plowing after you. The same thing in Rogue One, when Rogue One is Vader chopping down all those rebels. But in this episode, or this scene, it's like Obi-Wan's running through this, mountain area with some hills and everything, but it feels almost like Obi-Wan lost his sense of direction, like he doesn't know where he is right now. Less than, it should be more so him, short of breath, running away from Vader. So I don't know, maybe if I rewatched it again it would work better, but I don't know, I feel like it may have also been constrained by the TV format, because this is a story that I think should have been a film. I understand that, TV shows have more hours that they can pack into the story, But when you have Obi-Wan and Darth Vader having another confrontation, that should be a movie. So, I don't know, maybe if it was in a film, it may have been a better scene. But overall, I really did like seeing Darth Vader in this episode. I'm curious to see where they're going to take him, because this is a character that you have to be very careful with in the liberties you choose, because I feel like Darth Vader is one of those characters where every time they've done him perfectly. And you don't want to be the one that messes up Darth Vader. So far I like what I'm seeing. The chase notwithstanding, like, I do like the way that Darth Vader is presented. I love hearing James Earl Jones' voice. Hayden's physical movements look great. But I think that Reva's storyline in this episode too looks like it's being pushed somewhere where maybe she, is gonna take Leia and either bring her to Darth Vader or do something. I gotta say, when I first saw Leia was part of the story, I didn't know how to feel like if they made, Vader discover that Leia was his daughter. But to be honest, I'm at a point now where, like, they can change whatever they want. And I'm not gonna be as, upset about it, because it's just fun television to watch, and I feel like, when kids watch it, they're not going to be as, upset about it. But I do kind of hope that Vader doesn't find out who Leia is, because then it would be a little strange in A New Hope, the interactions he has with Leia, how that works out. But I guess we'll find out. Deborah Chow's doing a great job. Ewan's doing a great job. The whole cast is doing great. So yeah, I'm really loving Obi-Wan. I'm probably going to wait till the end now. Like I was saying, I do this thing where lately, especially with Moon Knight, I'm like, this is the best show. This is the best show that they've done yet on Disney+. But I think I need to reserve my judgment for some of these, because Moon Knight was a show that I ended up becoming disappointed in by the end. I hope that Obi-Wan isn't a show like that. I hope that every episode just gets better. So I'm going to wait till the end to see how I feel about the show. But overall, I'm really loving it, and I recommend anyone that's a fan of Star Wars to watch it. And thank you so much for watching this video, and have a great day. Bye.